Welcome. Welcome to our live stream and my channeling of the Lyran Felines. We have a huge galactic and practical earthly cosmic update that's been coming through for a couple days now. The Lyran Felines that come through the Galactic Council of Nine, who I channel on a regular basis, are some of my favorite beings to channel and happen to be deeply relevant to my own heart personally from my own galactic background and my memories of my own life records, and many of our Akashic records. So we have this vast amount of Lyran energy coming in really strongly right now that's pushing you into your truth, pushing you into owning who you truly are, pushing you in sort of as the Lyrans call it, a no holds barred situation, whether people are either going to like it or lump it, but you're going to be who you are no matter what the cost is going to be. So in some ways, that's incredibly wonderful because they say to me, it's about time. In other ways, it's challenging. It's relevant, and albeit it is about time, many people around us aren't ready for those changes because they've made assumptions about who we are and what we're supposed to be. And society, well, this is one of the biggest themes about this veil lifting. As you're owning who you are, society will be talking you out of who you are, so that will feel like an upward climb, is what they're saying. Like an upward climb. You know, where they're giving me this image of climbing Everest or Kilimanjaro, and the air gets thin as you're going up, and that's what all the criticism around you and the pushback from people you know and people you don't, from employers, from loved ones, from friends, even from strangers, you'll feel this intense pushback. So it's begging you to look deeper into what is true on this earth and what is illusion. As the Humans from the Future, in my Humans from the Future series, have predicted, there are many extraterrestrial disclosures which people can no longer deny. One in Las Vegas this month, some things that people tried to, they tried to kind of debunk this about the beings that were flying in crafts over Lake Michigan. But I astral traveled there and I saw it, and they are not scientific weather balloons and climate change experiments. They'll tell you only a part of the truth as you're going into navigating these cosmic changes, because you will be able to see what has been there and what has been going on for the past 1100 years on this planet. The past 1100 years. And now it's coming out in ways that are undeniable, yet your governments are still attempting to deny it. What's the fun in that? Initially, you'll feel excited only to have fact checkers and everyone else come forward and debunk everything that you know is true, including the most recent predicted extraterrestrial disclosure in Las Vegas is true. Not our beings, Katara says. They're not our beings. They're Alpha Centauri beings, but you can, she said, you can bet your sweet furry tail that your governments are attempting to hide that and aren't going to let that family disclose their videos of the beings. I love that. You can bet your sweet furry tail. They always have the humor. But as this veil is lifting, which is the theme for June, July, and August, all throughout this year, but particularly June through the end of August, you're going to be seeing more of this veil shifting and as that happens, as it thins, you're going to see it's not that they're landing. No one crashed in the Vegas event. You have 2 more events coming up in the next 3 weeks. And that's just the start. June through August is going to be slammed with extraterrestrial disclosure. And it's not new. No one crashed in the Vegas event, they're saying. This was already happening for 1,100 years. It's just that you can finally see it. Many of you are having your own personal disclosure experiences in relation to your own ascension, in relation to your own spiritual, physical, and emotional journeys. So you're going to be receiving gifts, both spiritually, emotionally, mentally. You're going to be receiving technological gifts that advance farming, that advance the clearing and healing of Earth's grid lines and ley lines and depleted soils. You're going to be receiving technological gifts that, if you are open, and it's common people, they wanted me to stop and say, these aren't gifts. We've tried giving gifts to your governments and they abuse the gifts. We are giving gifts to commoners who just want to plant in their gardens, who simply want to learn how to meditate and connect with us. We are giving gifts to people who are simply asking, and we can tell that they have the ethical wherewithal to not abuse the gifts and to utilize them in ways that help their neighbors, friends, and families. We are giving gifts not to selfish people who simply want to make money off of our gifts or rule or own others or control the world. We are giving these gifts throughout the next 5 years of your disclosures. You will be given gifts to plant on your properties, gifts to learn how to build free energy devices, gifts to learn how to purify your water. And you are the pioneers that can utilize these gifts, that hold the ethical valuation systems, that hold the generosity and the benevolence in your souls to not abuse or overutilize the technologies that we will be giving you. Some of these are spiritual technologies, but many are scientific technologies. And it is because if we don't give you these gifts at this time when the veil is lifting, then you won't understand the truth, and you will continue to cling to the lies that have been sold to you about what Earth is and why you're here. So these are the changes coming, and they couldn't come in a more relevant and powerful time, in a more needed time. You are indeed so blessed. Let's talk about some of the other energy changes that you will need to navigate. You are remembering who you truly are. You are looking outside of all of the distractions. You're paying attention when you need to be paying attention. There is much extraterrestrial whistleblowing going on. But pay attention, not just to that, but to the light of your own divinity, to your own truth. Remembering who you truly are is the biggest effect of the lifting of the cosmic veil surrounding Earth. But you have to be ready for it, because as you remember who you truly are, if you're paying attention to the whistleblowing going on in your politics, the lawsuits going on towards certain presidential candidates, if you're paying more attention towards who you will vote for next year, America, if you're paying more attention towards which prime minister steps up or down next year, yes, we are alluding to another change. We know you've just gotten settled, UK. But if you're paying attention to all of that, which will not harm you and will not serve you, then you will miss the greatest gifts that are being given. If you must pay attention to anything that you perceive as external, may it be your lands where your feet trod, may it be your families, May it be your own spiritual team. May you refuse the fraudulent nature of the voting system altogether. It will not harm you. It can only help at this point to refuse to take part in fraudulent systems. But you are remembering who you truly are, and you must be ready for it. It's coming. It used to come in waves, and now comes constantly. You are being pummeled by ownership of your own power, revelations of the truth of who you are in the soul. And you will be begged to go deeply into this question: what is true and what is illusion? What is relevant to you about truth and what is relevant to you about illusion? What power are you giving away when you make things more significant than they actually are? There are moments of victimhood and disempowerment, and then moments of power as you navigate these energy shifts. And again, society is causing you to become more concerned about the system itself and what it's doing to you. And that is not where your focus should be. Those systems are crumbling. And we urge you to have nothing to do with those systems, to create your own systems, to work together and interdependently, to forget about looking at the news and your concerns about your governments. That is the grand disillusion that is attempting to gather your attention right now. And are you going to be looking at that? Or are you going to be looking at all the extraterrestrial disclosure, all the beings attempting to help you embody perfect health, perfect power that is benevolent and in service to all? What will you choose? The truth or the very distracting illusions that abound? We had to capture your attention in this channeling today because the lies are so magnetizing. They are so compelling, and they are so distracting. And they are pulling you away from your true nature and the true reasons why you are here. So no, extraterrestrials did not crash in your backyard this month. No one crashed. But you were told half the truth, that it was a meteorite. Maybe that's true. But perhaps there were beings that have been there for a long time that you are finally discovering. Perhaps you are tapping into the interdimensional fields of consciousness that is beyond the third density, and you can finally see what is happening in truth. That we and many others are here to help you, and we have always been here. We have always been here in your deepest service, and we are here for that service. This is not new, and this will continue. We open the floor to your questions now. Make them relevant. Time is your greatest gift. Okay. Kitara and the rest of the Lyran Felines have opened the floor in chat to your questions about navigating these energy changes and about some of the things going on in the world right now. They are not so keen on answering personal questions unless it can be a personal question that perhaps would also be relevant to people listening today. I'm ready. So put it in chat and I'll take a peek. Yes, Stephen Taylor says we've been here the entire time. We just have to raise the collective frequency to manifest. They said manifest what? Be specific. How to lift the fear of ETs in people. They're saying this will require more time, more disclosures, and again, they will be happening at an exponential pace. You will not be able to keep up. It's happening so often. It's happening, and it's being captured on ring cams, on social media, on your phones. It's going everywhere. It's going viral. It's happening so often. And you can expect it to happen 3 times the amount that is happening right now by August of this year. So at some point, people are no longer feeding into the lies that they've been sold. And you are curious. You want to know who is here and why we are here with you, because you can no longer deny it. Religions are being questioned. Your governments are being questioned. And as these systems fall, your hearts rise. The true systems are things you must create together. And we are here to help you. So it's not a matter of something we can tell you to do to lift your fear of us, but just that the disclosure is so obvious. There are many galaxies, many solar systems, many lunar systems, and anyone who understands this scientifically can make the assumption that there must be more than just humans. But now, as the veil is lifting, you are seeing it for yourselves in undeniable ways. So this only takes more time for you to see us. And then, just by the law of numbers, you cannot resist knowing why you are seeing us so often. The fear will rise naturally with more disclosure, more experiencing, more answers. Exactly. Someone here in chat is saying she had a visitation a few months ago, and she saw them over her home, and then they shot off in the sky towards the Vega star system. Vega is really active right now, according to the Lyran Felines. Next question. Please ask if we can personally call upon them for guidance. They're saying, get used to us first. We want to know why you don't call upon yourselves more for guidance. We would like to help you awaken to your own power, to your own internal compass. Why ask us? Is it simply because we're new and different and you believe that we're more powerful than you? We may operate in a different density, but that does not make us more powerful than you. And we do not wish to be, to have that power bestowed upon us or assumed. That would be somewhat untrue, because the truth of equanimity and balance is that we are all the same, just experiencing light and sound differently. Some with fear, some without. And to make matters worse, what if you called upon the guidance for the wrong being or the wrong group of beings that are not benevolent, that have been attracted based upon your fear? What then? Get used to us. We each have our own energetic frequency and signature that you will be able to easily identify, in the same way that you know when you're spending time with certain friends and their different personality essences, the difference in the way that they talk or speak or act. That's an energy field. And when you know who you're talking to, perhaps then it would be relevant to ask how you can connect to your own guidance. And we are here for that. The beings that come and say, we are here to give you guidance, continue to help you evade your own internal compass system. So why would they want to do that? It is a question to ask. There is no fear in this question, but there is deep knowledge and wisdom to be ascertained. Oh, whenever I channel, my nose just itches and itches. I'm so sorry. Okay, let's take another question. What does it look like where they are, the Lyran felines, and what do they do and what do they eat? She said, we do not eat, and we haven't since the time of our experience upon Earth. We were first with you as Lemurian beings in our Ascension games, and we were simultaneously living upon Lyra. Lyra holds pink and golden hues, and the sunset runs a deep violet and coral. Our environment of water is more plasma oriented than the element of what you call water. We do not breathe oxygen anymore and haven't for thousands of years. Not since we've been there with you as Lemurian beings. We are currently in the Lyra star constellation and in the Hyades star constellation systems, which is a constellation near Pleiades and Taurus. Let's take another question. Let me see if I can read this one. I'm going to just try to rephrase this because I'm trying to understand it. She says, what does the Lyran DNA within us help us? How does it help us? And what traits can we use to our advantage? She said, you'll understand that everyone upon your planet that holds empathy, a nature of empathy and sentience, holds Lyran feline DNA because we were the original humans. And we are here to help you ascend as well, and so that Earth itself can become a celestial environment, a fifth density environment. We have many traits, but we can be serious and intellectual when need be, as we are today. We can be joyous, goofy, fun, playful when need be. There are many traits of humor and levity that can help you transcend your deepest grief. And you may call upon your own Lyran feline nature in your own soul to help you understand more about how to utilize joy and levity in difficult situations. So many people in society are talking you out of who you are, and they tell you to become more serious when you need to transcend pain. Instead, with joy and bliss. And they tell you to become less serious when they wish to take advantage, or when they wish to lie to you or distract you with further illusion. You should be less serious and more playful. So what is it? Do you see the dilemma? It's not so much about the Lyran feline DNA that's arising that you're becoming more aware of and holding more access to. It's that the more of it becomes, the more that it becomes privy to you, accessible to you, the more those around you, individually and collectively, will talk you out of being who you are in that truth. But it is a part of your DNA to hold levity and joy, and it is a part of your etheric DNA to also be in your wisdom, to own the truth of who you are and why you're here. And there are so many around you that prefer the expression of reptilian DNA. We do not wish to segregate or separate or to cause you to do such from those around you in your lives. We wish for a simple awareness that not everyone holds the deep degree of empathy that you do. Not everyone holds the capacity to access their levity and joy when they need to, desperately. When you are overcome with grief as you are arising out of the intense dark night of the soul that is arising and is so prevalent right now upon your planet, then people say, be more responsible, be more serious, be more intellectual, be more practical. But then when you do, you become deeply saddened because you are thwarting, repressing, and suppressing your bliss, your levity, your joy, your light, your dance, your song, your art, your music. You're repressing your healings. This is a time to be very aware of the energy that is nourishing you, of the energy in which you are engaging. This is a time to be so completely aware of what you take in. Not that we wish to separate or cause separation, but a simple awareness of what you take in and what you don't is highly needed. Because otherwise, you will stay stuck in the question, what is true and what is distracting illusion? And sometimes it's easy to just say, well, I give up because I thought I know, and now everyone is telling me the opposite. Forget what they're telling you. Hear us with your hearts and your souls today. This is the first time when you can look into the skies and feel a relief that beings are assisting you, that the veil is lifting, that gifts of technology, both of the soul and the body, your lands, the elements of water, all technologies are given to common people. What I mean by common is that it can't be controlled and can only be shared for the benefit of others. These are exciting times. Let's see, thank you for the super chat, Marjorie. Is hearing loss in one ear a symptom of these changes of human energetics and use of our brain? She said that is one of the many symptoms. The ringing in the ears leading to the hearing loss is one of the many, many symptoms. And in time, this will begin to shift and you will notice an interesting reversal of the loss when many of your human doctors claim that that cannot be scientifically possible or plausible. You will notice many shifts of return of vision these next several months and return of hearing. So consider them upgrades. And simultaneously, if you are concerned about a medical problem, as always, listen to your counsels, listen to your medical professionals, but only when they are in line with your own bodies and assisting you perfectly to become whole. Thank you, Medieval Lady 2010, for your super chat. Thank you, Holly, for the super chat. She says, are there any ancient sounds the Lyrans use that musicians can incorporate in our daily music practice? She said, mainly the dolphins can hear us because they make similar sounds. When you stand by the ocean, you can't hear it with your ears, but you can hear it with your hearts. When you listen to sonar activity and the sounds of whales and dolphins captured by your scientific technologies, those are the closest sounds that you can place into your healing music, into the healing libraries of practices that you offer to others. Light languages are coming more powerfully right now than ever before, but they're forgetting the more guttural, vibrational overtones and undertones. These are tones that you can hear and create simultaneously, but they are called overtones and undertones because they are above or somewhat different than are somewhat lower in pitch than the main tone in your sound healings. Let's see. Not all of the extraterrestrial races are relevant. This question here says, how far does Tigetan disclosure have influence on overall other disclosures? She said, there are many disclosures, and this particular species and race that you mentioned has very little influence, if any, on Earth. So very little. There's very little influence with these beings insofar as their interest in Earth, is what she's saying. So it's not really a relevant question because they haven't actually made contact, nor do they attempt to, or nor do they intend to. She says these beings are hands off, and they believe that there should be no intervention or help. Let's see. I've missed a bunch of questions, so I'm going to scroll back for a bit. Was Vega not destroyed, the planet in Lyra? She said, and so was Lyra millions of years ago. Things have been in the illusion destroyed, but in truth, nothing can be fully created nor destroyed. Therefore, the cycle begins over and over again, and you are entering upon a cycle of new planets, new systems with the same names and the same power and the same collective frequencies, beginning the cycle all over again. This is what is special right now, is that we get the chance to do Ascension over again without destruction. Just reading through your questions. For those of you asking for personal messages, we're not going to do that today for sake of time with the council and the Lyran Felines, but I am offering a special on Meet Your Galactic Team readings that will be available on our website really soon, like in a couple of days. You should see it there if it isn't there already. Maybe Anya can tell you more about that. She's in chat today. Let's see, because that's more individual to each person versus something that the collective can listen to later here on this huge platform. Will Earth continue to be Earth School when it reaches 5D? She says, okay, so Ascension doesn't work that way anymore and hasn't for 4,500 years. Here's why. The last time you ascended to 5D together, there were still many beings who wanted to destroy the entire experiment. So, exploring the fifth dimension in an environment where all dimensional frequencies are allowed and intermingle means that Ascension is individual. It means that Ascension is interdependent upon the various soul groups that incarnate here and continue to reincarnate here, which means that even a simple thought can lift you into various dimensions, as dimensions are a point of measurement, not a place to live or be. Let's discuss density. Earth is various densities because Ascension is now individual and interdependent upon various soul groups working together. This means that you will be living in third density, fourth density, fifth density, simultaneously and creating various versions of Earth, some that are just 3D, some that are third density and experiencing and fourth, some, like yours currently, that are third, fourth, and fifth. And then you may create some that are simply experiencing the fifth density version of life. And you can hop in and out of these various measurements of density at any moment of a shift in your thought. A simple shift from joy to anger lands you in 3D. If the anger is not helpful, it's not that the anger is bad, but the human mindset can only perceive density as low or high, and then you perceive density as being good if it's high and bad if it's low. This isn't the case. When a density is strong, it can be helpful or harmful, benevolent or malevolent. You see? And if it's helpful, then of course there are certain planets that can utilize this. However, this unique Earth library, holding all the consciousness of those listening today, well, you are powerful. You are different because you can hold all of these experiences of density and have it still be helpful to everyone. And you can ascend in your own ways, uniquely, artistically, beautifully, or you can choose not to. Not everyone wants to. Some play the role of beings who simply lie in the background, assisting, being helpful by providing karmic displays of suffering so that you can transcend that. And that's something that you forget because your minds only allow you to perceive density as high or low, and you have attributed density as good if it's high, bad if it's low. Until humanity can escape that unique programming in the mind, then you cannot possibly understand how war and peace can exist together, how various races and cultures can live together without war, how love can also be shadowed with fear, and how fear can lead back to love over and over and over again. And you will not appreciate this unique form of ascension until you learn this, until you remember who you truly are. Earth will always be Earth school for some people. Why do we need it to be different? You want it to be this way, which is the unique pleasure of coming here. It's because it is this way. Stephanie says, are we all feeling the energy of Lyran wars on some level of our being? She said yes, because in your skies, that's what's happening. We are fighting for your freedom from those with reptilian DNA expressing as humans who continue to control you. We are fighting for you in your skies. And you do not need to be a part of that war. You are the ones being protected from those wars and from the wars on your lands and from your wars against each other. We were told for so many thousands of years to not intervene. But now we can assist. Next question, are you part of Jesus or Sananda and part of light beings and part of the, I don't understand that word, Victor. Sours. They don't really know what that means, that last word. They're saying that Sananda is a complex that is a part of them, not the other way around. Was the Sphinx originally a statue of a Lyran? She said, you're on to it. Okay. Wouter, she says it's not even relevant. Don't even worry about it right now. With the local exchange trading systems, what's more relevant is your ascension process, not what systems are working or not working, because you're building systems and they're not known yet. They're not created just yet. So don't worry about what's helpful and harmful. She said, please choose what's working for you, or create something if it isn't. This one says, I thought the Lyrans were pacifists. They're all laughing. Not at you, but like sort of in reaction to the statement, because they are very protective. She's saying we are not offensive, but we can be defensive, particularly towards our kind. We can be protective. And if we were not, you would have destroyed yourself 1,000 times over. We are responsible for you. We're responsible to make sure you do not blow up your own planet. We are responsible to make sure you do not nuke thyself. We are responsible to make sure you remember your power. We love you. You are our family. We and you are still original humans, and we have not lost that etheric galactic DNA. So, of course, we will fight for you, and we will be warriors. Pacifists? No. No. That she said that's more of a Pleiadian trait. But this is not the galactic group that will be passive peaceful. They will be protective guardians, is what she's saying. Next question. Do Lyrans and Syrians work together? Currently speaking, she says there's a segregated group of Syrians. There is Sirius A, who hold a complex, non-sentient learning system in how they learn. And then there is the Sirius B collective, who are sentient and do work as allies with the Lyran Felines, typically. She said, we still fight with Syrians. She said it's a bit like cats and dogs. There's a reason in the star systems why the Syrians are called in that dog constellation. and Lyrans are considered cats. So they're very, very different. But overall, they do work very well together, even though they're different. They complement each other. Are there aquatic Lyran beings? She said there are aquatic Syrian beings and aquatic Lyran beings. Boom, boom, boom. So far, let's see. This one says, how far does the Prime Directive limit stellar races from having direct contact with humans? She said, please elaborate on your human term Prime Directive. We cannot answer that unless we know what you're talking about. There has been all of the councils, not a Prime Directive, but all of the councils have decided that intervention has not been necessary or needed until now. It's needed now because if not, there would be too much disruption upon your planet. There were beings allowed for intervention by incarnating as you versus intervening from the typical standpoint. In a collective way, beings are incarnating and mingling their genetics with you and then intervening that way by joining a rather sentient human experience as non-sentient beings and then disrupting it with boots on the ground. That is why we intervened. What does it mean to be an audible gong? She said you're using words she doesn't really relate to or understand. Use different terms is what I'd say here. What I've noticed a lot in spiritual communities is that people are kind of learning a lot of terminologies from each other. And it could be just a terminology that is like you're saying the same thing, but you're using different terms. So sometimes when we can get all on the same page with our languages and terminologies, she says that that can make a difference in how we communicate in our spiritual communities. Do Arcturians and Lyrans work together? Medieval Lady says she feels she's belonged to both those collectives. Okay. She said Arcturians were particularly standoffish and non-interventional because that's what humans wanted until maybe 45 years ago. No, she said longer than 39, 40 years ago was when Arcturians started working with Lyrans to awaken more people. At that point in time, they began to work together. Prior to then, Arcturians don't have unique reasons to work with other races. Not that they are standoffish in a negative sense. It's just they're 11 dimensional beings. So there's not a lot of things that are relevant to an 11 dimensional being. You see? Why is there so much fighting going out there between you guys? She said, we are defending you and protecting you from types of disclosure that would be devastating. And we will continue to do that. If that means we must fight, then we must fight. If that means we die out in the process, then we die out in the process. Nothing can be fully created nor destroyed. Okay. Did the Lyrans create a portal to come to our universe? She said, according to the Galactic Councils, we were allowed to create a portal for direct intervention that would be helpful only. But because we are a part of the prime creators of this planet, we are responsible. Not many are given that leeway. What is your current relations with Andromedans? She said, respectful, but chilly. What do you mean? She says, Andromedans prefer intervention through sharing of powerful wisdom, and that is their gift. Helping you understand yourself beyond the constructs and limitations of time. We are here to help you understand what's going on within the constructs of time. So in this way, we are vastly different, and yet we deeply respect and revere each other's ways. In which dimension do Lyrans live? She says, again, dimensions are a measurement of an energy, not a place to live. So in this way, what's unique about Earth is that you can experience energy dimensional measurements and shifts all the time. Lyrans are currently experiencing an 8th density life upon many of our planets. But that matters not, because we prefer to be embodying and reincarnating and mixing our DNA with you, because you are the original humans upon this planet. And we are also the original Lyrans upon the planet. We are the Lyran human. And we have been here since the time of ancient Lemuria. Now we are here in a unique way to incarnate and reincarnate as human. And those of us who do not do that remain in the skies in our galactic starships and in fleet command to protect you and to guard you. There are very few of us on our home planet because we are more interested in you, our siblings, and our children. Are there certain angels that work more often than with Lyrans? She says Lyrans are not particularly interested in angelic intervention. We are not interested in your belief system about how angels assist. Angels are not under our guardianship, nor are they above it. Are Urmans active in disclosure? She says no, not at all. Another hands off. Okay, let's see. I think we'll take just a few more questions and then we'll close. I will see you guys next week for we're going through a whole month of ritual for the summer solstice and activating through dragons. We have thunder, the cosmic etheric dragon operating through the element of ether, channeling and doing rituals with us next week. So I'll see you for that. I put that link up at the top of the chat. The Meet Your Galactic Team special is on and will be probably throughout the rest of the month. If you want to meet your galactic team and get messages from them, get a question about your soul's origin, you can go to PamelaAaralyn.com for that, or message us from your Patreon account, or shoot us an email. Any way you can reach us other than YouTube comments, chat comments, etc. Social media comments are not a great way to get in touch with us for those kind of things. Let's see. Next question: Are they monitoring AI and military in space? Yes, she said, and protecting you from the beings that have incarnated and reincarnated as you, who wish for a fully AI planet. There is nothing wrong with machine AI, but there's a different type of AI that is attempting consciousness in order for means of control. And we are guarding and protecting you from Earth becoming that. And you don't have to worry. You don't have to worry. You will not become that in the future. There will be groups of you who choose it, but most of you prefer your humanity and will remain as such. We, as your siblings, guardians, friends, and family, will make sure of it for you. We are the only galactic race that will give you our word on it. Go ahead if you want to work with a galactic race, and if they say they're protecting you, ask for their word. Oh, Lindsay, that would be fun, huh? Yeah. Let's see. No, that's not the only way. In this question, this person is asking about the reactivation of human DNA, and will that only happen by combining DNA with ETs? She said, it's helpful at this time because nothing else has worked, and that is a part of the experiment. But it's been unhelpful in a certain way because you've decided to share DNA with non-sentient beings, and that's caused a lot of war on your planet, a lot of further separation. So that part of your ascension experiment isn't going well for you, which is why you require our protection and intervention right now. So of course, that is not the only way. You can do this. You can activate yourself. You can and you will. You are already deeply in the process of this. Sai Priyatham, I don't understand that word. Insofar as what poses a threat to humanity, this word MAITRE. You're using a lot of words that the council we're not familiar with. Is there a pet human? She said, no. And your cats aren't pets either. They're guardians, not pets. No, they're not there to learn for you. They're there to help you learn from them. It's the opposite way around. They're not pets. Humans, she says, humans don't have pets. You just think you do. That's funny, considering what we all think about our pets and how we think they're just lovely little fluff balls who are here to do everything for us. And it's actually that we're learning from them. Donna Marie, I don't understand what team you're mentioning. Okay, just a couple more questions. How do you get them to serve? I don't know what you mean. How do we get who to serve, and what do you mean by service is what she's asking. Because Lyrans certainly aren't here to serve humans. We're here She says we're here to protect you, to serve with you, to serve each other, but not necessarily to serve you. We are here to serve with you and as you, among you. We are here as your galactic siblings. And like good brothers and sisters would, we will put up a fight for your lives and for the life of this planet. Okay, we'll take one more. How can we speed the activation of our DNA? That's a good one. She says, eat lightly, eat more plants than anything else, eat more melons and fruits, eat more water-based foods. Bless your waters, drink more water. Allow water to become a part of your daily rituals in your spiritual lives and in your practical lives. Swim more. Bask in the sun more. The sun is uniquely relevant right now in these solstice portal energies. Right now is a time of great vitality, healing, and solar activations. Yeah. So much fun. I had so much fun today. If you guys are interested, please shoot me something in the comments. Let me know if you're enjoying these galactic channelings. And if you have suggestions for more of the Lyran Felines in terms of different types of channelings that you want from them, if you want to hear from them more, please do let me know in the comments. Next week, we're going into Dragon Energy with Thunder, who is another guardian from the ether, representing our cosmic realms. So he's going to be teaching us a lot about how to maximize astral travel and the astral realms. I'll see you next week for that on my Patreon channel. And this weekend, I've got some friends visiting, so I don't know if I'm going to be back on, but I will be back on next week. I appreciate all of your time, your super chats, your love, your support. Please do like and subscribe. You notice that we have the subscribing comments are only for subscribers who have been subscribed for at least an hour. Please do like and share. And if you want more, just put it in the comments. And I will see you guys next week here on this portal. Otherwise, I'll see you on Patreon on Tuesday for Channeling Thunder, the Ether Dragon. Bye.